it should be active now. All right, greetings everybody. I apologize if this is a double post because we just did a real brief introduction to this week's video and I got a pop-up that it did not process. So if it's duplicate, I apologize. If not, we're 4 minutes late. Apologies. We're coming to you live from the UZURV operations vehicle on I-40 headed west from Nashville to Memphis. So if we've got a little vibration on the camera, I apologize, but stick with us and we're going to cover a couple topics today. Keep it to hopefully 15 minutes and want to recap our morning meeting that we had in Nashville. Had a great turnout there and want to thank everyone that showed up. We did a quick hour and a half meet and greet there and answered a lot of good questions, had some interesting stories with the drivers that showed up, got everyone set up and got the questions answered. And the first topic I'm going to really focus on today on this video is about mindset. And when I say mindset, this is the thought process of a rideshare driver and the differences between a transportation network company, i.e. Uber and Lyft, which we all drive for, either one or the other or both, and UZURV, which is a reservation network company. And exciting news that I'll cover second is related to some of the legislation that we've got going through the Virginia Senate and Virginia House right now. But you may have seen our posts on that, and that's going to be the next topic. But to focus on mindset, what I'm talking about here is one of the big questions that comes up, and a lot of the interested drivers that show up to our meet and greets, their number one question is, hey, what do we need to do in order to see more activity in the feed? And that's where we have to address the thought process of the differences between our rideshare TNCs and UZURV. And that is that if you take yourself back to 2009 when Uber first started, 2007 when Lyft first started, these rideshare companies had no riders, zero. They started signing up drivers and all the ridership was via word of mouth promotion. And how much did it cost those two rideshare companies to invest in building their ridership? You know, those of you that started out driving years ago realized that, you know, Uber was giving, you know, $20, $25 to the driver for a rider first trip, and to the rider they were giving their trip free at, you know, $20 and then $15. I think now some cities are at $10, but they invested a lot of money, $40, $50 per rider to bring them onto their platform, introduce them to rideshare, and essentially get them familiar with the system and to begin using it. Now, we all know and see the success story that these rideshare companies have become, and that is where we are today, where you turn on an app and you get a trip request, and if it takes more than a couple minutes, there's something wrong in most of these cities, and we start questioning, hey, is my app working? Is it on? What's going on? But whether or not you refer a rider as a driver is entirely up to you, and it's not required. And most of the cities are growing in their ridership, and the ride volume is continually increasing, and the riders are obviously grasping the rideshare concept, and they really enjoy it, and the convenience and the price and everything else that goes with the value of rideshare. But if you're a driver that just wants to log on, go out, take some trips, and go home and just bank a little extra cash or side money, that's your prerogative, and how you go about your business is really up to you. So now let's throw UZURV into the mix. And UZURV, you really need to put yourself in the mindset of being a business owner. You're trying to build your own rideshare business, and mainly through repeat clients. So UZURV is a tool for drivers that allows you to give your rider the option to request you again. Now, if you're not available, now, yes, there are hundreds of drivers in your cities that are able to fulfill those requests as well. But what happens is right now you've got a big gap or a difference between those drivers that are out actively referring riders into the rider pool and those that are still in the mindset of the TNCs and the rideshare industry of why aren't there riders? Well, those riders have been heavily invested in by the TNC companies, and the UZURV requesters or riders are being referred by drivers. Take yourself back to the early days of those rideshare companies, and we're starting from very, very low numbers in the majority of the cities. And our test bed of Richmond is a great example. It takes time, and we're going on a year there. It's about 10.5 months so far that we've been actively utilizing the system from the beta time period till now. We've got over 800 drivers online, and we've got thousands of riders online that are utilizing the system on a daily basis. And if you look at the Facebook for Drivers page that you're all a member of, you can see usually it's the Richmond group or the real early beta test areas like Piedmont Triad, like Raleigh, like Charlotte, like Northern Virginia, like Charlottesville, like Virginia Beach, that are seeing the successes that time and volume increases, right? So take yourself out of the mindset of the gimmies, right? That a company has invested $50 per rider to put them on the system, into what do I need to do to put my riders in the system. Those drivers that are referring are seeing better results. And those cities that are referring hundreds and hundreds of drivers on a weekly basis are definitely seeing return business, and the volume is increasing. It's just a matter of time and numbers. We realize that. It's all built into the UZURV business plan. And I just want to make sure that everyone that utilizes this tool understands that, and you've seen some of my posts in this group, that it's a tool for drivers, and tools require work, right? Their tools are designed to make the work easier, yet you have to use the tool in order to see the results and or build something with your tools to a successful business. So mindset, get yourself in the right mindset, get the referrals going, and you will see the return business. If you're not satisfied with what you've seen so far in UZURV, most likely if you go to the app menu, click on the first option, which is bank. At the bottom it'll show your lifetime referrals. If that number is not in the triple digits, you got some work to do. Tap on that number, whatever it is, anywhere from 0 to 500, tap on it, and then it breaks it down by riders and drivers. It'll tell you how many you've referred total of riders and how many have actually taken a reservation or completed a reservation this month. Same thing for riders, same thing for drivers. So take a look at those numbers. All of you out there, even if you're driving on the side just a couple nights or days a week, you're doing probably 20 trips a week, minimum. If you're doing less than that, you're extremely part-time. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it, but the riders that we're looking for are in your vehicles already. You don't want to have to, educate someone brand new how to utilize the app. Take somebody that loves Uber, loves Lyft, and now you're going to offer them an extra level of service. Hey, have you heard about the new app called UZURV, where you can now reserve your favorite Uber or Lyft driver in advance? And they're going to say no. Or hopefully they're going to say yeah, because I see your headrest covers right in front of my face that says what it is and how to download it and what the code is to get 3 reservations free. Those are all tools to help you build your ridership. So mindset is the work is required. The faster you make that change from the wait and see to actively going out and making it happen is going to obviously translate over to your results. So moving into the second topic that I mentioned, and that is in regards to the legislation that we have in the state of Virginia. We're very excited about. There have been a couple posts that we've put in the group, and we'll probably repost some of those so you can see what the progress is. I don't know what has been accomplished yesterday and today, but we have a bill that is going through Virginia legislation right now, which is our home state, to basically put the wording into law, or the statute into law, that will create what is known as a rideshare or transportation network broker. Okay, and that is what UZURV is a broker. We connect riders with their favorite driver and allow them to initiate a request for that driver in advance. Once that driver arrives, that transaction's complete, and a digital platform request from 2 of the TNCs that we have approved are Uber and Lyft, because they're nationwide, to complete the transportation. That portion is required in order to use UZURV, and there have been a lot of questions about that. Make sure that you're familiar with how the UZURV app works. Make sure that you're familiar with how to request or how your rider UZURV. Those of you that have had great successes with UZURV so far through the beta and the first 10 months, definitely post comments below. And there's some great success stories out there, and there's more and more every single week. And we appreciate you guys sharing both our efforts. So already passed the and gone back to the Senate. So I know that it was scheduled to be on the floor to become law this week. So that should be huge news coming very shortly, which would then open the door for UZURV to become the first legally in the nation, and soon hopefully this legislation will translate to other states that will follow Virginia's lead. And Virginia already has some of the strictest TNC regulations in the country, if not the strictest, and we picked the right state to initiate this legislation. So a lot of you have been waiting all year to hear the official word on where that stands, and it's coming within the next matter of days or hopefully hours. So thanks for sticking with us during that time period. Our agenda on this trip, I've got my partners Daryl Franz and Chris Sost with me in the front. I'll turn the camera around real quick. You guys can wave over your shoulder. There's Chris, there's Daryl, and there's I-40. Starting to rain, it looks like. We are headed to Memphis, Tennessee, where we'll be doing a morning meeting. We've been going since about 2:30 this morning on the Eastern time to get out of Richmond at 5 a.m. through Charlotte to Nashville, did our Nashville meeting, and now we're heading to Memphis. So Memphis morning meeting, we'll see those of you Memphis drivers that are able to make that time slot tomorrow morning. I believe we're there between 10 and 11:30. Check your email, check your text messages, and check this Facebook group for the updated schedule. And after Memphis tomorrow, we're going to be moving on into Arkansas. We're going to hit Little Rock area and then over to the home of Walmart, which is Bentonville/Fayetteville area on the western side of Arkansas. We'll make a stop in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then Oklahoma City. So hopefully we get a chance to meet all of you that can make it. We got some goodies in the van, free stuff to give out as always, and we'll make it worth your while. Make sure your questions get answered in person. And you'll have some great takeaways to share with your other drivers that are unable to make it once you leave that meeting. And our main goal with these meet and greets is, as always, so you can put a face to the name of UZURV. You get the operations team one-on-one to spend some quality time, grab a coffee, and talk about rideshare, talk about UZURV, and talk about how we can hopefully make you more money in your rideshare business by driving less, and ultimately down the road being able to drive by appointment only, which I know a lot of you would love, instead of roaming around on demand. You can still do that if you wish, but it's sure a lot easier when you know how much you're going to make and when, and you can decide when to drive and when not to drive. It just adds a whole new dimension to your business. So if you've got questions, put them in the comments here below this video, and we'll be happy to respond to those. So without further ado, I appreciate everybody's time. We're going to pack up the video here and continue on our way to Memphis. I appreciate everybody. Good seeing you all, and we'll see you again at this time next week.